Hey everyone, it is January 4th, Saturday, and it's a rainy, cold day where I'm at, which is the United States. And this is the Duchess of Unicorn YouTube channel. And I thank you for taking time to peek in and kind of peruse the internet with me and discuss and give opinions on the Duchess of Sussex and Prince Harry and the royals. But I want to focus on this particular channel at this particular time on the Duchess and Harry, of course. And all my content is found on a public domain. As you see, I'm searching the internet with you. Won't you join me and let's check out some, I don't know, fake news, but let's check out what they're saying today in my neck of the woods. So Meghan took a photo for an unsuspecting. Yeah, so that's bizarre. Elle magazine says Meghan Markle stopped and helped a couple that was struggling. I think that's kind of funny. That's a good way to start the video off. So a couple were struggling to take a photo. Are people that simple? Seriously. Are people that ignorant that they would have to put a title like this that says they were struggling? Of course, they cut it off at struggling, because if it said people were struggling to take a photo, I think half of us wouldn't even think to open this up. But anyway, you open it up and you find that the Duke and Duchess apparently were helping them take a selfie. Okay, so where are the receipts that show Meghan and Harry together with this couple taking the photo or helping them take the photo? No receipts. And if you and I were walking out in the woods and we spotted, the Duchess and the Duke, we maybe someone who doesn't love them, but say you like them, or you were like, wow, here's the Duke and Duchess of Sussex right in front of us. Can we take a photo with you? Any fool would say that, right? But where are the receipts of the photo? I haven't seen it. So if you've seen photos showing the Duke and Duchess helping this couple or taking a selfie with this couple for their Instagram page, let me know in the comments. Okay. So that particular headline is hilarious. Okay, Town and Country says Meghan Markle. So they're regurgitating that 2-3 times already in different forms. Unsuspecting couple. Who David Foster is. David Foster reveals that he set up Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's holiday getaway. Who's David Foster? To stay at a mansion in Vancouver Island owned by a close friend. It's always a close friend. It's never like Jimbo Bobbins. They never name the friend. They always have just a close friend. We need to just insist on Prince Harry especially being transparent with his public. We need to insist the general public and YouTubers, journalists and reporters, we need to insist on all levels, top and bottom and in between, that Prince Harry stop being elusive with so-called truths and be transparent. And I believe that in all my time of ever following Prince Harry or the royals in general, and I've fell in love with Princess Diana, so since her time, I've always checked in on the royals. Well before Meghan Markle. Like, we need to stop making everything about Meghan Markle. It's funny, it's fun, but honestly, she's really infesting the British royals. I mean, I almost feel bad saying that, but not. You have to be able to call things like you see them and give your opinion freely, as long as it's not something malicious. And this is definitely not malicious. It is how I feel. I want receipts for everything that these two do. Because it seems to me like these two, when they are together, are quite toxic. It doesn't seem right. There's no real flow. Everything seems contrived. And I don't expect that from royalty. I don't expect to be fed Hollywood, movie-ish, actor-ish stuff. I expect to be fed from the royals some type of transparency, because they are paid on the tax dollars of the common folk. And therefore, we deserve, and I'm not even British, so I'm speaking as a person who is a taxpayer, who is someone that has contributed to her government, and consistently rather, I feel like if I was British, I'd be enraged. I'd be like, hey, I'd be putting like a button on my shirt or jacket that says, we need to insist on Prince Harry's transparency. And I never remember a time when people had to demand or insist upon transparency from royals, because when they did one little thing, like Prince Harry's Nazi costume thing at a party, people held on to it until he actually came forward and apologized in public, and so he didn't make an excuse per se, but he would come out and apologize and say, I don't mean to embarrass my family. I'm sorry about that. I made a wrong choice. That's all you can do in an apology. And the other half of that is never do it again, right? Because that reflects on that you really meant what you said. So we haven't seen Prince Harry do anything like that since. Okay, then we moved on. We cataloged it, but we moved on. Now we're getting, random people coming out and saying they're close friends. If they're so close, why the cloak and dagger? Why? Nobody knows. Nobody really knows who this guy is with the gray hair in the back, who set them up in a house, mansion for who knows. But the point is what we're deflecting from is why we never see Prince Harry happy, but more often Prince Harry and Meghan are never seen together in any real official royal business, unless it's something like, I don't know, stop by a country, pretend give a little speech, pretend like I'm black like you, or I'm African like you, or I'm of color like you, and then make a documentary about themselves and how victimized they are in a country that has been victimized by colonization, the British Royals, and also by its own people, and then take off and get back to business as usual. In other words, I just don't feel there's true transparency. And of course, I'm not big on transparency. Like, I don't want to know all your business. Okay? I said that like that on purpose. I said that like slang. I don't want to know all your business. I want to know what is relative to what you're promoting. So I see a picture of Prince Harry and the little guy, right? And I think, what's up? That's what I think. I think that baby looks a lot like Megan when she was a baby, just with the hat on and everything. I don't see the rest of the shape of the head or the color of hair, but the baby to me looks a lot similar to when we see a few photos of Megan when she was a baby. Now, because of the view that I'm on right now, I'm not going to be able to show you a picture of her, so that you can compare yourself, but you can simply go online and you'll pull up baby pictures of Megan and they'll come up. It's not hard. And then look back at this Archie photo or any Archie photo and you'll see a little bit of more of Megan. So, and maybe I feel funny saying that because I'm not myself 100% convinced that this baby is their baby. I know it sounds crazy. Why do you feel like that? Why? How can that be? You must be nuts thinking that they'll pick a random baby and pretend to have it pose or pose it as their child. I don't know. They said they walked in the moon, but yet we really don't have any proof that they walked on the moon because remember, when they walked on the moon many, many, many years ago, okay? 50 years ago? I don't know. 30 years ago? Well, nobody's up there now. There's no colonization. There's no buildings being built. But yet they say they can walk on Mars. Okay, so that's a little bit off of a tangent, but I'm trying to show you that anything can be pulled off with the right team and the right skills and a spin doctor who can turn a story to reflect photos. And photos can be altered. Just like if you're seeing video, sometimes video can be altered too. But most importantly, if you're seeing a video live, then that's what you're going to get until someone else takes it and edits it and then puts it back out there. So I prefer show me the receipts. Show me the video of Harry and Archie and Meghan. Show me them walking around in Canada live. Do a Facebook Live. Record, have some station come out and say, going live now too. They never do that. There's no news reporters ever live unless they've been planted there and pre-set up because Meghan and Harry are coming into town on official business. And then that's another thing. I don't see much official business. Do you? What we see is a lot of complaining and a lot of story making up, titles and articles and verbiage that say we're victims, we're being punished, we're so sad, look at us. And, we're not bad people, we're decent people, look at us. Look at us traveling here and there and fixing our own problems. Yes, it's good if there's true problems to address them. And that's a good role model. However, I just feel like what's happening is we're using Prince Harry as a scapegoat and we have nothing that Meghan's doing. In other words, I noticed that Meghan doesn't need any fixing, but it seems to be Prince Harry, since marrying her, needs to be fixed again. I also know that since Meghan, I've seen Prince Harry merging his own business ventures. And I'm thinking, why would Prince Harry need to push his business ventures in the faces of the general public, like Travelist, his involvement with Travelist, the Sussex Royal Foundation, which is kind of shady. Why would Prince Harry need to push that? Why wouldn't it just be set up, done, and go about your official business in a more graceful manner, more indicative of a royal? I see a lot of, I've got so many problems. I'm just a regular person. Look at me. I have problems just like the general public. Oh, look at me. Please relate to me so that we can be more popular and we can connect with those of you who think you're just regular people. And regular people are made to be like lower than royalty. The only reason royalty is higher than an average person is because they have generational money. They have bloodlines that can be traced hundreds of years. Now, the regular person can do that too, if they care to. And secondarily, most people don't have the money and time. They don't have a team of genealogists. They don't have the bloodline going back even 4 years because nobody traces their bloodline. The average person doesn't trace their bloodline, right? Hundreds of years back. And that's why all these 23andMe and Ancestry.com, they're all able to make huge sums of money on the backs of our medical genealogy. And I'll just give you a tip, and you should look into it. If you are someone that likes 23andMe and Ancestry.me and all this stuff, and you want a DNA test, a real conclusive DNA test requires a blood sample. Saliva can only give you so much, and they need to tell the public that. And that's why a lot of these genealogy tests go about and tell you you have 23% probability of being from Africa. You have 22% being European. They have a generalization because real DNA testing takes months and is expensive in terms of money, the investment, and it takes a blood sample. It takes actual blood. So this is the kind of genealogy that the royal family has been doing for years, just so that they could, ensure that they know what they're dealing with in terms of blood lineage. And so that brings me to a little tiny side note again, is that Meghan Markle, how many of us really believe that Meghan Markle is not some type of blood lineage to the royal family? And I might do a separate video on that, but understand that no one gets in the royal family by being just random. It seems like it's random, but they will check your bloodline. They will check your bloodline. They will do blood sampling and see where it is that you come from and what you have in you. And that is another basis of how you get in. So, because if that wasn't the case, they would not be able to ensure their bloodline in a strong manner, because they would be breaking up that bloodline and it wouldn't be, I don't know if it's pure. I want to feel like it's pure, especially with all the technology and resources that they have to research that and make sure that their bloodline dates back and continues to date back hundreds of years. The purity of it. So I want to say they do that to make sure it's pure, but I'm sure if you have some genes or some DNA chromosomes that are, matching theirs, then they consider, you just can get in, and I'm sure that's very random. So with that being said, we understand that Thomas Markle has a bloodline that goes back to England and close to the court of England. So I don't know, a lord or a duke, something like that. And I'm going to do a video on that to find out more about that. But that can be researched by anybody. Go ahead and punch that in, Thomas Markle's bloodline, and you'll see that it'll probably take you right back to what I'm talking about, is that he does have some lineage in that, part of the world. And I think it is in the royal court. I just can't remember what his the title of his ancestors was, which makes me, I can't understand why he's being outcast. But that's another video for another time. But it brings me back to these two. Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor. All fake names. because the British royalty, they changed their name to Windsor, but it's like Gotham something or other. So, and I'm going to do a video on that, so I'm not even going to go there with that, so I don't mispronounce the names. But it's an assumed name to cover up, I believe, if I'm not mistaken through research, their German bloodline. But anyway, so here we have Harry and Archie, and I'm thinking, I'm really not sure what's up. But we better think long and hard if we think that these people are providing us with the truth. And I think, like most of us, if we sit back, we can realize, we can feel the truth. If you allow yourself to be open enough, you can feel the truth. And if you can feel the truth, then that's kind of like your receipt from the universe, a gift to you, letting you know that connection with others is real. And even in a photo, not to mention that it's photoshopped, or it could be photoshopped, in my opinion, we would be able to feel the truth because things would lay themselves out in such an order that it would be evident that it would be the truth. And of course, we would do our investigations, our research. We would look it up. We would form opinions. We would try to reach out to people. In terms of YouTubers, we very rarely can reach out to anybody who would have any other special source of information, because we are, just like anybody, common folk. Unless it's otherwise stated that, oh, I have a very special source, that source works in the palace or works for a royal family or works, the building next door is a neighbor of, we'll never, ever have a special line of information that comes from any type of source. And that's got to be known across YouTube. Unless someone's stating that they have a special source and that source is working for or with or around the royals, then I can see that you would say my source says. But most of us on YouTube are looking at the events and information that's reported out there, and we are giving our opinion in our video on YouTube. And that reminds me, my content is for entertainment purpose only. I enjoy looking up current events of the royal family, and including Prince Harry and Meghan. I enjoy looking at and reading what they're putting out. I'm on the Sussex Royal page. I like to know what they're doing because I really like to make sure in my own mind, because I feel like we who love Diana really have found an interest in the royals. But outside of that, I don't think the royals would have had this much interest. And so because of that, I really find looking, into the royals and reading about them and watching what they do is interesting to me. And I share it with you because you have an interest, evidently, if you're here. And so when we look at these photos together, we can kind of share points. And I see that this child has one leg color. I don't know if I'm going to be able to enlarge that, but look, there's it looks like two different types of pants. Here you have the blue denim, and down here you have it looks like a legging, like a light gray legging. They'll try to say that's the sun, but in all honesty, that looks like a light gray legging. And, well, that right there shows a little bit of everything, doesn't it? Maybe the denim was made to look like jeans, but I don't really see how anyone would be able to not see, if they change the jeans in the front, that they don't change the color of the jeans in the back or lighten both to make them look both gray or make them both blue. So I'm not really sure, but this baby looks older than 2 years old. I want to say like almost 2.5. At least 23 months. At least. And so I don't know what the public, the public should be insisting on Prince Harry's transparency. He's not a celebrity. He's a royal. It's a different kind of animal, completely different kind of animal. And Meghan is only bringing him to a point of Hollywood stature. And we expect so much more from a royal, any royal, anywhere in the world, any royal in the world. We just don't expect them to be like an entertainer, like an actor. We want them as they are throughout history, just to be a royal and do all the things you do, but remain a royal. Show your decorum, your grace, and your class, and still be who you want to be. But if you don't want to be a royal, then you can go off and be an entertainer or the husband of an entertainer and just go be that. But when you're trying to have a foot in two different places and then trying to be something you're not, well, then that's when things get mixed up and you don't have the transparency and you don't have the people's trust. And if you lose the people's trust and you're a royal, you're in jeopardy of toppling down a monarchy. And that's fine if the monarchy wants to fold and go to be private citizens and go enjoy their life, so be it. But don't try to emulate something that you're not and expect to be royalty as well. Either or. And I think that that's how the monarchy feels. I think Queen Elizabeth clearly has a line that says you're either here or you're there. And I think that's how it should be. In terms of, are you going to be royal and accept compensation from the general public of your country, or are you going to be common and still be wealthy and still have royal blood from hundreds of years back, old money, but be a private citizen and support yourself without one dime, because you really don't need one dime from any common person, either or, but you can't be both. And if you're going to be both, then the public is going to be in an uproar and they're going to think, well, in my opinion, they're going to think, why are we giving you any of our money when you already are wealthy in your own right? Live off your own money, man. Stop taking ours. Stop taking from the poor. And so with that, I'm going to just end the video. I didn't really see much else in terms of anything interesting because they're on this extended vacation. And I really believe that they're not even together. I believe this is some kind of world stage and that Prince Harry is participating. I don't know what he's gaining unless he's just gaining a son. I don't know what this is all about. Why would Prince Harry even take the time to participate in all this theatrics when he can just go off and marry, say, Chelsea Davy and have little royal babies that look like each other? They're not going to be any special color or any special way. They're not going to be American. They're not going to be biracial. They're going to be, what they are. And just go off and be a prince and go live your life like a prince, like you were raised to do. You were grown to do this. And stop this whole charade, and people, now people are saying that you're sick because you have, wobbly mental health anyway. So now they think you're in a mental health facility or a rehab facility because you had a little too much to drink or some drugs or whatever. I just feel like since Meghan has married Prince Harry, he has just come untethered, and it's ugly. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't look right. And Meghan is like nowhere to be found. Like, you don't see any articles directly about Meghan outside of all the great press. Like, she doesn't, like, seems like nobody's reporting the truth on her. Like, nobody's investigating her personality like they are Prince Harry. Prince Harry has a mental health issue. Okay, but he seemed like he was doing okay prior to Meghan. Like, he started the Invictus Games. Meghan started a blog. You know, Meghan was a yacht girl. Prince Harry was the prince. It's just so evident that what's going on, if you can step back and keep your marbles and just look, and you can see Prince Harry, even though he was not perfect, because nobody's perfect, you could see that he was living his life to his best ability. We don't know the inner workings inside his head. Nobody can know that but him. But what we saw was someone who was creating Invictus Games, continuing year after year with that, passionate about that. He was doing royal events, and he looked halfway happy. People have reported that he was always decent and fairly fun. Now you see him grumpy, or you see him looking like he's stressed, and he has outbursts when he's giving speeches, and I think it's stress related. And he's got a huge part, just a stream, a river between him and his family over his wife, who has clearly applied a river between herself and her own family, her own father. It's clear to me that if Meghan was removed from the marriage, if he and she decided that they should go their own ways, then yes, she would get a huge sum of money, a ludicrous amount of money. But Prince Harry would find his happiness, and he'd still be wealthy. And people would, I think, forgive him for his choices, because his choices reflected so poorly on him and his family. And he has a chance to go on. And Meghan could go find an actor and go back to acting, be an actress. She might not even want to, but she can do the things like that and merch products, and stop having the, British people taking their money to fund their homes or whatever things that they're doing, or their security or what have you. So I'm in America. She doesn't affect us here. Prince Harry doesn't affect us here, but it's very interesting, and it's entertaining, and it's research that I like to do, because the royals in general all over the world are very interesting. They're very, very interesting. The psyche, the thought process, the wealth, how they acquired their wealth, how their personalities clash or blend, how the children are raised. It's all very interesting. It's a huge study on humanity in the way that it's supposed to be a certain class of person that's different from the rest of us. So it's entertaining. I hope you like this video. I created this video for entertainment purposes only. I just want to scan the internet on my browser here in the United States and see what the heck is going on with these two. And that photo here looks like a photo from a few years back when they had taken their relationship to the next level and were either newly married or they were getting married. I think they were newly married, and they took this trip and they were wearing the same clothes, basically the same clothes. The scarf looks different, but I remember being similar outfits. And so it makes me think that photographer had some extra pictures that weren't published that he decided to send them, and they published these to corroborate the fact that they're supposed to be on an extended vacation hiding out in Canada somewhere, and yet you see them out together nowhere. You see no video. You see no outings. You don't see anything. Everything is a one snap photo that seems to be photoshopped. Well, I'm tired of this today. It's Saturday. Go enjoy your Saturday. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye.